Good Sunday morning, everybody. Day 8 on the trail. Sunday, April 23rd. It is about 9:15, and we just rolled out of Muskrat Creek shelter. Camped in a tent not far from there last night. And just getting this party started. So it's cold. It's about 46 degrees, but we're at about 4,500 feet of elevation. So, and it's damp, kind of feels damp. I know it looks gorgeous, but it was like kind of damp last night. And so it feels colder than it is. But I'm sure we'll be warmed up here in just a minute. And we'll see where today brings us. Logistically, should be heading to Carter Gap Shelter. But if you remember, there's bear problems there with food and such. So it's either going to be a little bit shorter of a day or a really long day and push past. Don't know yet. We'll just see. But yeah, so I woke up this morning and I was like, ooh, my hip. I done messed around and discombobulated my hip out here. And it was all sore and everything. And come to find out, I was just laying on my battery bank. And I guess, anyway, it just made it sore from laying on it. So yeah, I had to, when it gets cold like that at night, you got to put your battery bank and your phone and anything like that in the sleeping bag with you. Because even though the stuff's turned off, this cold air will just drain the battery out of it somehow. So yeah, that's all it was. I got up, went and got my food out of the tree, made some coffee, all as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to make sure that stuff ends up down in the foot box at night. But fun times. But it's absolutely gorgeous today. And let's see what happens. We're supposed to be climbing up to above 5,000 feet today. So it ought to be pretty up there. Let's go. It's for all the big girls in the house. Showing y'all some love out here. Chunky Gal Trail. Even got y'all over view right here. Pretty neat. Northbound. Water Oak Gap. Not much to it. That's where we came from. A neat little camping area. Have to bring some water with you. View out my side window right now, so to speak. Walking along this ridge, and then we're going to drop into Deep Gap. So there wasn't a sign or anything, but I am now in the Nantahala wilderness. I just passed a trail ambassador. We're just hiking through it. They were headed to where I stayed last night, Muskrat Creek Shelter. I guess they just like check on things, just seeing how everybody's doing, if anybody's had any problems, that kind of thing. But did tell me that the bear at Carter Gap Shelter, apparently, like, it's not, it's just in the, he or she, whatever, that bear is in the area, not just eating food there. So the site before and the site after, which were my other two options, are just as prone to having problems and have had problems recently. So sounds like I'm just gonna have to deal with it because I've got to get through this area and just be extra careful when I hang my food. So yeah, still probably not gonna stay at Carter Gap Shelter just because it's I mean, it's notorious. If you ask anybody else out here with some experience, they all tell you about Carter Gap Shelter. They don't mention anything before or after. That doesn't mean there's not problems before or after, but they must not be as bad. So yeah, that's the plan. Talk to y'all in a bit. Coming in hot, Deep Gap, ladies and gentlemen. Little parking area.
Bag stuck in the tree last night.
You got it down there?
Yeah, I got the bag down, but the carabiner and maybe 6.
So that was some pretty cool trail magic. It's a girl named Lauren, had a trail name of Grandpa, something about falling in the snow a lot or something, I don't know. But yeah, she through hiked the PCT sometime in the past, and so anyway, she wanted to do trail magic. Her and 2 of her friends set up some right there in Deep Gap. Had all kind of stuff. Had ice cream sandwiches, popsicles, all kind of drinks and snacks, fresh fruit. So I ate a couple of bags of Doritos and some grapes and had a Coke. It's good stuff. Had chairs for us to sit down in. It was nice. So now we're just climbing on up Standing Indian Mountain. Let's go. Neat little bridge. All right, northbound. All right, folks, we are at 5,300 feet. This is a viewpoint from near the top of Standing Indian Mountain. I know it's hard to, the weather and all, it's kind of hard to tell. But we're almost to the very top, the peak. I don't know if there's gonna be a view up there or not. This might be it. So we're gonna climb a little bit more, but right now we're at 5,300. Over here on this side, if you can see off in the distance, there's a lake or a water source out there. That is Chatug Lake. Just looked on the map. That's right outside of Hiwassee. It's on the North Carolina Georgia border. That ridge right that you see before, that's where I camped yesterday. We just kind of come way on down that and around and back up the next one. But yeah, cool stuff. Another view from Standing Indian Mountain. believe that's bear scat. Hello? Are you there? I'm over here. This is where I'm at. Where are you? I hear you. I'm just passing on through, buddy. I know this is your home. Can I come on through? Do you hear me? All right. I'm gonna ease on through here. I saw where you made a mess just a minute ago. That's all right, though. This is your home. All right. Just passing through. Here I come. All right. Okay, people. So I did not see a bear, but based on the circumstances, it was a bear. So where I showed you that scat back there, you go over one little, like a little peak to get on the other side of the mountain, but you kind of hook to the side of it. The trail does. But if you were to go straight, you would go through the woods, and you would top it, and when you came back down, you would be back on the trail again. And so I think that bear might have just made that deposit maybe just like a few minutes before I got there or something, and then topped that peak and came down through the woods. So anyway, it's based on that, it sounded like a bulldozer in the brush not far from me. And once I started making racket, the sound started moving away from my direction, which is what's supposed to happen. But I didn't capture it on film, but while I was, I didn't know if he was going to pop out or what, but while I was recording, there was a little bitty sign on a tree, and this might be why there's such a problem with bears in this area, at least for hikers, is it said, a little bitty sign, like diamond-shaped sign, said, North Carolina Bear Sanctuary. So that's what we got really going on. That's what's really going on. That's what the deal is. I don't know. You know, I've been thinking today, like why don't they just put like bear boxes and bear cables and all that stuff at all these sites, and people wouldn't get their food taken anymore? I mean, that would solve the problem. That would, especially a box. They put a box. I mean, that's problem solved. That's issue over. But there's got to be a reason. My guess would be if they did that, it would solve the problem. And now that the bears have gotten used, however you say that, to the human food, that they'd probably get aggressive maybe, and that would probably be even worse. It would be worse. So maybe that's why. I don't know. I've been told though that, you know, once a bear, and I've read it too. It was online. Let's take it for what it's worth. But that once a bear gets a taste for human food, that there's basically only two options. One is to like put them in a zoo or somewhere, or try to relocate them, and the other is to put them down. And so apparently this bear or bears around here have gotten the taste, and so none of the options are good from this point out. So I don't know. You ever heard, like, this might be like a country like South Alabama thing, I don't know. I've had some family members tell me about it before. Like when a dog bites a chicken and gets that first taste of blood, like that's it, it's a wrap. You know, like the dog's ruined. I think it's the same deal, same type situation with a bear and human food. So I don't know. Crazy stuff. This will be an interesting rest of the day tonight, and by tomorrow I should be up out of this little area. So fun stuff. I see something cool down here. I'll be sure and show y'all. Bear country sure is pretty though, ain't it? Really, I think the whole AT is bear country. This one little section just happens to have a name. And maybe a couple of smart bears. Just some nice, easy switchbacks for a change. Coming down off Standing Indian Mountain. So here's the deal. Made it to Beach Gap, which is where I was going to camp tonight, and it's dry. And there's supposed to be water there, but it's always dried up. And that's the first time that's happened out here so far. But that's all right. Just step back and repunt. So there's a place a couple of miles further north, which is where I'm heading now. And it's not an actual campsite. It's a gap. I think it's called Coleman Gap. Anyway, there's supposed to be water there. There's supposed to be another water source on the way there. So I didn't pack water into Beach Gap, even though that's where I was going to set up camp, because there was supposed to be water there. So, I mean, I have enough with me to get where I'm going, just not for the night to cook and all that jazz. So, yeah, that's the game plan. And, you know, really it might work out in my favor, because this is not a traditional camping area. You know, I'm sure the bears get used to going to the same places to get their food every night. And it sounds like there's 3 of them right here this campsite I just left, Beach Gap, Carter Gap Shelter, and there's another one on the other side of Carter Gap Shelter. So, yeah, maybe if I hang it good, I'll get lucky. So we'll see. But that's the plan right now. And still plenty early, so got time. But heading to Coleman Gap. My Boy Scout brain is going off like an alarm clock right now, saying, Brad, get water here in case this next spot is dry. And I think I will. All right, so here's the deal. Got plenty of water now, all watered up. Heading down to Coleman Gap, but now what we gotta worry about is if there's room. Who knows how many other people, if anybody's there. So that's what I'm thinking about now. Hoping that hoping there's somewhere to put a tent. If not, be another push. So anyway, we'll see. What's going on, everybody? Made it to Coleman Gap and got set up, had dinner, got my food hung. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Anyway, so day 8, Muskrat Creek Shelter area to Coleman Gap for an 11-mile day. And here with some other people. A lot of people, or not a lot, there's 3 guys here from New York, Queens, the Bronx, somewhere else, and 1 guy here from New Hampshire. So just a mixed crowd. Oh, and a lady from Vermont, and today is her 70th birthday, and she's attempting a thru hike. So pretty neat stuff. And the sun's going down, it's getting cold, and probably about to climb in the tent and call it a day. Talk to y'all later.